Why I believe formal education is antiquated and it's time for a change. Welcome to the Kerry Knoll Show. I'm your host, Kerry Knoll, and in today's episode, I'm going to talk about formal education versus online education. See, about 3.5 years ago, I actually recorded about a 13-minute video of me talking into the camera and doing my very first, or second at the time, vlog episode about formal education versus online education. And I thought it'd be best if I just replayed that video for you guys today. So, without further ado, here you go.
Hey everyone, it's Kerry Knoll again, and I just wanted to shoot you another quick video. This one will be quick. This one's what I forgot to tell you in the last video, and that's where it finally dawned on me after I got off video, of course. And that is my beliefs on formal education versus online education nowadays, and so basically paying for a 4-year education at a college. Or paying for these various courses and products and stuff that you can get as much, if not better, education from for a heck of a lot less money, typically, than what you pay. So if you guys, here's my stance on it. If you guys believe it's okay to go spend $40,000 or $60,000 on a college education for 4 years and then come out of it and have to go find real world work where you're hoping that you're going to get a job doing what you went to school for, it's difficult. It's really going to be difficult, especially when, the job force, it's not like employers are just hungry to hire people anymore. It's not the same as it used to be, right? And I think and I believe that, you're far better off learning things that are more applicable and up to date and are cutting edge and things that people are doing today to make money. And then, to learn stuff out of textbooks that were written, 10 years ago, even, or longer. And, what kind of benefit is that? What kind of education are you really getting for that money, right? And I know it's just, it's our society. Our society says, hey, when you get to be 5 years old, you got to go to kindergarten, then you got to go to first grade, second grade, third grade, all the way through high school. And then you're supposed to go to college and get a degree and then get a job. This is antiquated thinking, this is stuff that this isn't what real world is really producing nowadays. And with the, opportunities that are presented to everyone now online to make money. Look at there's all these vloggers on YouTube who make, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year or a month, millions of dollars a year, doing stuff like playing video games on camera, unboxing products, whatever it might be. It's silly, stupid stuff. Family vlogging and insight into everyday life of a family that people want to tune into and watch. And then as soon as they get enough followers, enough social influence, they have the ability then to sell products to them, or to and their first monies are made by the AdSense of YouTube ads, right? YouTube ads running on their account, and get enough views and enough subscribers, you're going to get enough clicks. It's a numbers game. And you can make a ton of money just from the AdSense ads. And then, of course, like I said, pretty soon companies come to you and say, hey, well, we saw you have a very popular YouTube channel, you got a ton of subscribers. Would you be willing to promote one of our products? And we'll give you X number of dollars for that. There's just, you're not going to learn that in a textbook in college or high school, for that matter. And speaking of high school, to me, it's pretty worthless, right? Why should we be learning stuff like, algebra and calculus and all this sort of stuff? There's no real world application for it unless you're going to be an engineer. You know what I mean? So why do that? It's just backwards thinking. It's antiquated thinking, like I said. Yeah, I think you got to go to school, or you got to be homeschooled or something, to the point where you understand you got to be able to read. You have to be able to write. You have to be able to do arithmetic, everyday numbers, calculations, stuff like balancing your checkbook. and then everything else is accessible on the internet. Yeah, it's you should be educated to the point where you know stuff like geography really well. You should probably be educated to know more about our history and understand where things have been and where things are going, and that's important too. But I think once you get to about let's say you go to school, elementary school for 5 years, 6 years, I think you got the foundation and the fundamentals down. Um, I think everything after that is just more schooling just to be schooled. I mean, none of that really is applicable down the road. I don't think it makes any difference. I think you're far better off finding online educators to teach you specific things that are actually going to help you in real life. Like in high school, they don't teach you real world stuff like how to get a job. They don't teach you like how to be an entrepreneur. They don't teach you stuff like how to balance a checkbook. What kind of investments should you be making? How do you live? How do you track your expenses? What should you be doing to make sure that, you're living within your means, and, create a savings and how to save and what are the best options to save. This is stuff that you should be learning when you're a teenager in high school, if you're going to, continue this formal education idea, so that when you get done, you're more successful and you have a good understanding of what you want to do with the money you make once you start making it. All too often, nobody's teaching anything, right? I mean, they're just teaching stuff like, old history out of history books, or teaching you old practices out of, books that, were written, like I said, 10, 15, 20 years ago. They just don't have any real world practicality. You're learning math stuff that you don't need to know. Because if you need to know something, you can Google it and you'll know it. Same with history. Same with anything, right? So I think we're in that juxtaposition where things are going to start to change. I think big time change is coming as far as education is concerned. I don't think the formal education is going to go away immediately or anytime soon, but I think it's going to progress to the point where millennials and future generations are going to realize that the education comes from the internet, and seeking out the mentors and the people who have made those mistakes, have learned from them, can give them the shortcuts they need, give them the insight they need to do stuff that will help them speed up their learning process and get them from point A to point Z a lot faster, right? So because of this, that's one of the things I want to put together in the future here is I want to start basically an online school, where I invite different various product creators and mentors and stuff like that in to teach certain subjects that they're experts on, and kind of have this collaborative site that similar to Udemy. Udemy's good, it's got some ideas, but the problem with Udemy is anybody can put up a product on there and you don't know what they really know, whether they know what they're talking about. There's not a lot of it just makes it a little too simple. I want to do something a little more sophisticated, a little more regimented with screened and stuff with who's capable of teaching what, right? Make sure it's really quality stuff. I just want to make sure if you're paying a decent price for something, you're getting what you need out of it, and it's really going to benefit you long term and give you your education. And it can be done for way less, than going to school for a 4-year degree. And this could be everything and anything under the sun. This doesn't have to. I mean, this could be something like beekeeping. You want to learn how to be a beekeeper? I'll find somebody that can teach you how to be a beekeeper. That was another thing I had thought of at one point, is putting together like a website called like the Man Club or something along those lines, where you learn stuff that nobody nowadays is teaching anybody to do, because nobody does it themselves anymore. Everyone relies on someone else to do it, like fixing a car, being a carpenter. Like I said, just these old blacksmithing, and I mean just whatever. I mean the stuff that we're just losing touch with society with all of its technology. As much as it's given us, it's taken a heck of a lot away from us. So, that's something down the road I'm thinking about putting together. I don't know when. I don't know what we'll call it yet. I haven't come up with it. It's kind of like the School of Hard Knocks. Only obviously, it's really more like the School of Soft Knocks, because you have all this real world experience being taught to you. up to the minute, up to the date, up to the second of what's working and what you can really apply to your businesses and your life and to your income. So anyway, that's my 2 cents and my thoughts on formal education versus the new online training and online mentoring and stuff like that. And like I said, it just makes so much sense in so many ways. I just don't see how people haven't taken more advantage of it. I don't see how why, like I said, I almost feel like we go through this formal education thing because we're like, sheep, and we're being herded into this idea that we have to do this. Like, this is just brainwashed into us. We just have to send our kids to school. We just have to do this. They have to get this education. But why? They don't have to have it. You know what I mean? I know plenty of people that didn't graduate college that are really super successful. I know plenty of people who haven't even graduated high school, and they're more successful than people who have. So, I mean, and we talked about that. I mean, there's no longevity. There's no promises. There's no perfect scenarios. There's no guarantees in life, right? You just have to take what's given to you and make the best of it and apply what you do best and what you know best to make a living, And the more self-sustained you can be, the better off you are. The more diverse your income streams, the better off you are. And yeah, I just think this is something that we need to look at as a whole, as a society, and eventually we got to make this transition, this change. You know what I mean? This stuff that this idea, like I said, of going to school and stuff. This is 100 years old. Well, 100 years ago, we were no TVs and no cars. Look where I mean, a lot's happened in 100 years, right? So a lot of things are going to happen very quickly going forward too. And either got to get with the program or you're going to be left behind, in my opinion. And, why not? So look at these programs that you're investing in, whether it's a course from me, it's a course from Ty Lopez, it's a course from, Jeff Walker, it's a course from Anthony Aries, it's a course from Ben Atkins, it's a course from, whoever it may be, right? As just furthering your education, you know what I mean? If you think it applies to something you can make use of and just get one little tidbit. That's how I look at things. When I buy stuff, I still buy stuff from all these guys, right? Because I need to learn stuff just as much as you do. So what do? I buy it, I learn from it. Even if I just take one or two little things out of it, it gave me another insight, another angle to think about how things could really be and what I can do with these things. So, I mean, just think about that and look at it as an investment. Not and no differently than if you were to go to college and pay for a credit or 2 credits for a semester for a course, which I'm sure is going to be way more expensive than most of the online courses you're going to buy through me, from other people, whatever. Don't look, just look at it as an investment into your future. Look at it as a way for you to have cutting edge knowledge and to help you be more successful in your life. Every one of these successful people I just mentioned, Neil Patel, all these guys, they started in the same exact spot you and I are. They started with not knowing nothing, buying into other people's programs and mentors, learning a bunch of stuff, applying it, and then becoming successful. Maybe adding a twist or an angle, come up with their own ideas. That's all there is. That's all it is. They aren't any better or any more special than us. They're just a step or two ahead, maybe. Or, they took the leap of faith and bought into these ideas through these other programs and these other people. And look where they are now. So that's it, guys. That's my take on formal education versus the future of online education. And I'll speak with you again soon. Take care, guys. Bye.
Well, I hope you really enjoyed that, more or less, just to see me 3 years younger, wearing a sleeveless shirt, looking pretty buff, looking pretty good. I had just gotten done going to the gym that day, and when I got home, I was all, pumped up on endorphins, and I just said, F it, I want to sit down in front of this camera right now and spill my guts about my thoughts on formal education versus online education. And that's what I did. And that's why I recorded it. And I wish I would have never stopped. I wish I would have continued doing those vlogs back then until today. And that's why I've started doing those here this year. And I started doing this podcast as well. So if you enjoyed this episode, I'd love it if you would leave me a review. A positive review would be awesome. Any review would be great. And if you have any questions, please leave them wherever you can. I'll do my best to answer them. And wherever you're watching this, if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified each and every week when I put out one of these brand new podcasts and or the vlogs when they go live. And if you're listening to this on Anchor or Spotify or iTunes or wherever it is that you love listening to your podcasts, please also subscribe there too. With that being said, I'm Kerry Knoll. This has been the Kerry Knoll Show. Have a great day, and we'll talk with you next week. Take care.